Welcome to Life Mastery for Women, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality with mind mastery, emotional management, and meditation. Welcome to today's podcast. Hey ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I hope I'm finding you creating wonderment around the holidays. If you're not creating wonderment around the holidays, then it is my intention today to give you one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. Now, this is going to be, it's an easy concept to grasp, but it's hard to implement unless you are working diligently about raising your numbers in general. Okay, so I've talked about the vertical numbers, the frequency from 0 to 10 many times in a lot of my episodes, and it is the easiest tool to kind of grab that you and a partner, someone who is supportive, you could use our group and say, hey, I'm a 5. As you're check in with your journal, check in with an app, like I use Insight Timer for a lot of guided meditations and music and stuff. And there's a journal in there now and a check-in. And I've been using it because it grounds me to the present moment. Where am I? And where do I want to go? That is the question we should be asking ourselves every single day. And I find more and more people don't bother asking. They don't ask why, they don't ask how, they don't check in, they don't ask how am I feeling versus how do I want to feel. They literally go out in their day and engage with the physical world. When you are engaging with the physical world, you are going to be the resounding number, the frequency that the world is emanating. So if horrible things are going on in the world, you're going to feel horrible. If great things are going on in the world, you're going to feel great. And that is kind of how we live our lives, right? If I put something fun and funny and light on TV, I can feel that same emotion. And then when I engage with my reality, my physical reality, and I go to work and my boss is crabby or my coworkers are irritating or I lose my parking spot or I get red lights all the way into town, that triggers a response in me to resonate with those same physical things at the same frequency. Because I'm engaging as a physical being in the physical world. So I have to resonate with those things around me. If I'm a 2, I'm seeing and responding to the other things that are 2s around me. Have you ever been where, let's say you go to work or you go someplace and you're in a terrible mood and you just want to go in and get out. You want to go to the grocery store, get your stuff and get out of there because you just hate life and you are in a terrible mood and you just don't want to see anybody. And then, of course, as soon as you don't want to see anybody, you run into someone who then looks at you with a giant smile on their face and glimmer in their eyes and says, good morning. And all you want to do is punch them in the throat. And you say, really? Because today sucks. I don't know about your morning, but my morning sucks. But you swallow it and you go, yeah, good morning. And they go, did you have a great weekend? And you're like, oh, please go away. I just want to buy my coffee and my potato chips and a couple of bananas. And I just want to go back and get in my car and drive off a cliff. We don't resonate when that gap is too big. I've talked about that many times, right? If I'm a 2, she comes in at an 8 or a 10, and I am annoyed by her. How about listening to the radio? You're a 2. You get in the car, you turn the radio on, and they're playing lovely Christmas music, and you want to rip the stereo out of your car and throw it out the window. Because everything carries a frequency. The biggest, best question you can ask yourself every single morning, even before your eyes open and your feet hit the floor. What am I feeling, and what do I want to feel? Now you're thinking, that's great, Jen. I want to feel peachy keen and I want to feel amazing and healthy and lovely and strong and thin and fit. And I want to feel rich and abundant and I want to feel loved by my partner. And I want to feel like I have the best job in the world and I want to feel excited. And I say, good. Now you have something to work with. You have some clay. You have something to mold. Now, once you know what you want, then is where you start working. Because what we think is if the world changes, then I'll change. As soon as world hunger is cured and the kids are fed, and I don't mean my kids, I mean all kids. When all of the kids and all of the world and all of the dogs are safe and in their all happy, loving homes, and there's no more abuse, and there's no more sex trafficking, and there's no more drugs, and there's no more stealing and killing and maiming and all this crap and wars and political crap, then I'll feel better. Because that's what we are taught. We are taught that the physical world is the world that we engage in, that the outside world happens first. But instead, it's the inside world that happens first. It is going to be happy people that come together to create a happy relationship, not two miserable people coming together to create a happy relationship. It does not work that way. We think it does. It doesn't. It is happy people that create happy outside of them. Everything is energy. And the energy that's inside of you, that spiritual being that is resonating, that spiritual being is trying to lift us up, which is why every time we let the resistance down, we start to feel better. As soon as we take a nap, we wake up and for a second, we feel better. Sometimes as soon as the memory rushes back to our senses and we realize, I just lost my job. And we realize, I just lost my partner. And we realize we just had surgery and our something hurts. Then that's when our what would have been a 10 vibration sinks all the way down, because we remember it hits us sometimes like a Mack truck. When you're dealing with grief and sadness and despair and hopelessness, sometimes it hits you like a Mack truck. But what I want you to do, and I think that this is where we start to shift the world, one person, one thought, one action, one emotional droplet at a time, we start to shift all of mankind. We start to shift the collective consciousness. We raise the vibration of the planet. I think that is what's happening. Slowly, more and more people are turning to meditation and they're turning inward. There are so many speakers and teachers and trainers and gurus and authors and people who are sharing this information. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm just one of many who says the inside creates the outside. You send out this vibrational frequency with your thoughts and your emotions. And you send out this frequency and it lights up the other things in your life that match that frequency. So I'm asking you, if you are listening to this podcast and you have a chance where you're feeling a low vibrational frequency, whatever your number is on the scale, then ask yourself, what do I have to do to raise my numbers? If my numbers are really low, then one of the things you can do, and you could always do this, is you turn to self-care. What can I do for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a half an hour, whatever amount of time you have to literally raise my number? What do I have to do? And then go do it. You know what I would really love? I would really love to just go sit outside with a thermos of hot chocolate and just sit there and just watch the snow come down, or look at the stars, or listen to the waves, or watch my kids play, or my dogs run around in the backyard, or watch my partner play the guitar, or watch a really fun movie. Then do that thing. When we are in that low vibrational state, this is not where we make decisions. This is not where we make decisions, because when you're at a 2, you're going to make other 2 type resonance. You're going to create from that space. You don't want to create from a 2. A lot of times when we get really down on ourselves, we make decisions from here. So when we're talking about the holidays and we're making decisions from the holidays, and we're making decisions from this place of despair or anger or upsetness, or we're bringing the past into the future again. We're saying, well, last time we went there, it was, a shit show, and it was terrible, it was stupid, and I hated it. Well, don't decide from there, because you're recreating it. So let's create a thing. Let's create wonderment. How do we do that? Well, there's lots of steps in this. And the first is introspection. The first is going inward and starting to realize and recognize and remember the numbers, the frequency, the emotions that you feel. Just start there. If you've never done anything before, just start there. That is step 1. Going inward and just recognizing, how do I feel? What is my number? And if you can't name how you feel, then put a number on it. On a scale from 1 to 10, how do I feel right now? And that helps. They're using that in the hospital. They have been for a lot of years, where there's, on a scale from 1 to 10, how much does it hurt? Right? On a scale from 1 to 10, how great do I feel? Now it's a different scale, but theirs is opposite. 10 in the number in the vibrational is I feel amazing, bliss and gratitude, in love, right? In the hospitals, it's 10 is excruciating pain. But this is excruciating bliss. This is loveliness. This is amazingness. This is I want to be a 10. You want to feel a 10. So that's the first thing, is start to practice that. Start to do it. Just check in. And if you have someone you could do this with, is randomly send each other a text or call each other or do reminders and just, hey, let's just check in and just remind each other. Put reminders around your house or your car or your office, and put reminders and just check in and start to go inward and bring your attention off of the physical world and into the internal world. That is when you're starting to recognize and feel into energy. You're starting to tap into it. You're starting to understand it. Because thoughts are, what do I think I feel? So how do you feel? Our thoughts are language. We don't use the words. And sometimes you don't know. Like I don't know if I could name the feeling, but I could tell you the sensation. I could tell you the number. Okay. After you do that, and if it's a high number, then awesome. Make sure you do, what can I do to keep this high number? No matter what happens out in the world, what can I do to keep this high number? No matter what happens, my job, my goal is to keep this number, to keep this frequency up. And I want to do it just simply because it feels better, simply because it feels amazing to feel this way. I'm going to keep my mood up there. That's going to be step 2. Step 1 is going in and feeling it and trying to recognize where you are, whether the number, the scale, you could name it, whatever you're good at. But it's just start to go inward and start to just recognize and look at the energy of how you're feeling and assess, does this feel good or not? The next is, how do I keep it here, or what do I have to do to get to the next level? If I'm a 2, what do I do to become a 3? Maybe it's just simply just rolling out of bed and taking a shower. Maybe it's simply, I'm just going to eat one of those freshly baked cookies from last night. Maybe I'm going to go for a walk, and then go do it. Go do it. That's going to be the hard part, is getting the physical body, when it is at that very dense, low vibrational frequency, to get moving. That's why those low vibrations, the low energy frequencies feel so heavy. When you're depressed, the last thing you want to do is get up. The last thing you want to do is move your physical body. Then do something. Sit up. Maybe read. Maybe just turn a light on. Maybe just open the curtains. Just do something. Then it is about moving your body, because as you're moving your body, you're moving that dense, heavy energy out. You're releasing it. I'm willing to release this. These are some new words you're going to start using. Now you're going to start using words that create this emotional response in the body. You recognize it. I'm a 2. What do I got to do to be a 3? Then you're going to go do the thing. Okay? And now you get moving, and I release this energy. I welcome a level 3, or I welcome some happiness, or I welcome some healing. I'm receiving, I'm allowing, using your words to increase this higher vibrational state, this higher vibrational frequency. It is up to you to do it. We think that it happens from the outside world. And sometimes those things in the outside world, with us engaging in those things, I light incense and I immediately feel amazing. I go outside and I immediately feel amazing, right? So find those things that help you to feel better, and then start doing them, and then start doing them on a regular basis. Now, let's get to the meat of this talk today, of this episode. And this is about the holidays. Tell me how you feel about the holidays. I feel terrible. I feel stressed. I love it. I'm excited. whatever. Now, if there is a time that you feel terrible, you feel stressed out, or you just aren't really looking forward to it, it's like you want to look forward to it because you want it to be a certain way, but you know that Uncle so-and-so or Aunt blah, blah, blah is going to be there, and sometimes they just cause a lot of trouble, and it just creates a stressful environment. I would really like it to be this way. However, I'm going to puke the past out here. And I'm going to say something like, well, but every year we this, and that, right? This is where you're going to go even deeper inward. Now, there's an energy space within your mind. I'm going to try to not get too scientific, but I think it's really important to start talking about this as it relates to creativity and creating the life that you want. The emotional state, those are easy because those words all have a frequency. So if I come in and have a conversation with you and I just keep saying this, I just keep saying things like, I hate this and I hate that and this really pisses me off and this really makes me mad. Well, those words create that emotional state. And then before long, you're pissed off. Try that. You know what really makes me excited? You know what I really, really love? Try these different conversations and list those things and really spend time understanding the process of your thoughts that then create an emotional state. So, okay, hey, husband, come here. I want to have this role-playing kind of conversation with you. And this is what I want to do. We're going to do the hate and mad and angry and pisses us off. And I want to do that. And then on the other hand, on the other conversation, I want to do this role-playing conversation where we are talking about the things that are really exciting and happy and lovely and joyous. Okay? And as you are creating that, tap in to the body. Does this feel better? Which conversation feels better? Now, again, don't let it go too far because you will find yourself in a very hostile state if you go too far. But role play it. Maybe set a timer for 2 minutes. And just see what you can do. And you'll be like, yeah, I do. I can feel this tenseness. I feel angry. I'm starting to feel more pissed off. I'm starting to feel like, wow, like she's right, right? This gives us the clues of the universe and how things work. When you go to the other side and you're using your words to create this excitement, this wonderment, this curiosity, you feel different. I can't express to you how important this is for starting to realize how you create your life. The words that you use, you have to have that introspection so you can pay attention and you can see and feel how the words affect your body. So you have to start at step 1. But now when you're wanting to create is to go inward and use your words to create a state of mind, but it's a state of emotion. You know, you're using the words through the mind communicates through your heart center and creates this energy response, this physical sensation in the body. Once you can start creating there, you are now in creative mood. You are in this creative space that allows you to now go out, because I'm a 6, I'm an 8, and I now go out into the world and I create and see these opportunities that align with my new vibration. Now, what will happen after time when you are doing this on a regular basis, and I suggest you do it every single morning, you check in, how am I feeling, how do I want to feel, and then start using words to help you move up the scale and start engaging in your physical reality to move up the scale. You got to go outside, you got to light some incense, you got to go pet your dog, you want to go plant some flowers, you want to eat some candy, it doesn't matter. Whatever engagement you have to do with the physical world to raise your numbers, that's your goal. Then you want to start playing with this to see how it can start affecting you on a regular basis. And then your goal is to get longer and longer and longer at it and better. But okay, I want to feel excited. Okay, so now start using words like excited and happy and joyous and holy moly, and this would be so amazing and so awesome. And just keep saying those words in different sentences. Oh my gosh, you know what would be so amazing if we were able to go to Disney World this weekend. Oh, you know what else I absolutely love? I love snowboarding when the snow is so fluffy and the hill is so big and the sun is out and it's a clear blue sky. Those are my favorite. You know what else is my favorite? Is I really, really, really love to go to the movies with a small bag of popcorn, and I want to watch all the Harry Potter movies, and I want to spend all weekend sitting in the center row watching Harry Potter with popcorn at the IMAX theater. And you just keep going. It makes you feel excited. Well, now what you're doing is from this place of excitement, this is where you can make decisions. This is where you can start creating in the space to like, you know what? I think this weekend or these holidays, I just wonder, I wonder how it could be different this year. I wonder what it would be like if so-and-so didn't do that thing. I wonder what it would be like if Christmas was amazing this year. I wonder how blissful we could possibly be. Like, is Jen right? Could this be right? Could this be the thing that changes this holiday forever? Could it be it? Now, the work becomes on the other side, when you come out of this creative space, is to hold that number. I'm an 8, hold the 8. That becomes your job. That becomes your daily focus. So it's no different than when like you're trying to lose weight and you go back to eating whatever and you're like, oh, I'm going to start drinking pop and eating pie and cakes and cookies again, but I'm going to hold myself at 145. It doesn't always work. Oh crap, now I'm at 142. All right, I better stop, right? So this is the fun part, because once you start keeping track of what you're doing and your numbers and your check-ins, and you start realizing that your life is shifting, opportunities are coming to you, and it is because you are doing this check-in, and it's because you're getting into that creative space that you realize you are also a creator and a creator of your life. When you start realizing that and the magic starts happening, that, my friends, is when life really starts getting exciting, because you can create the relationship, you can create the business, you can create the behavior of your kids, you can create Christmas and every holiday between here and Halloween or Thanksgiving, and you just start living from this place of joy and gratitude. So those steps again, go inward. First, just recognize this is how I'm feeling. And if you can name it, then name it. If you have to put a number on it, then go ahead and do that. If I'm on a scale from 1 to 10, where am I? 10 is complete bliss. The next is, how do I stay at this state? If I'm an 8 or a 9, well, how do I stay at this state? If I'm a lower number, something under 5, how do I get to the next number? Then go do that thing. Now that's going to be your initial practice. Using your words to create the space, to create the energy and the emotion that you want to feel. That becomes really creative. You use a lot of visual techniques. You can use music, but I would recommend you do it. Think a thought until it feels amazing. Think a thought that has those emotional words in it. I find that it's a lot easier to use emotional words when I'm talking about something and I'm trying to create something like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be so amazing for this Christmas season with my family to be so great? Like, oh my gosh, how awesome it would be for it to be so fun. Like I'm attaching my thoughts to the thing, which is a Christmas, but I'm using words like amazing and fun and awesome and exciting, right? And I'm attaching those things together. So I'm telling the universe from this thing that I'm trying to create, this holiday experience, these are the words I want to feel. And I'm putting those together in a nice, neat package. And I'm sending that frequency out into the universe for the universe to start applying it, changing behavior. Now, Uncle John isn't late for Christmas. That makes my mom all pissed off, right? Or my brother doesn't stand up and start ranting and raving about his kids. That it just becomes this. And then you leave, you get in the car, and you're like, oh my God, that was so much fun. That's your work. That's your practice. These are the things that we're going to be talking about as the new year starts wrapping around. If this is something that you would like to be a part of, join my Lady Rising Facebook group. These are the things as we talk about intentions and affirmations and why affirmations don't work, and setting intentions and really working our words and moving into this place of creativity. I would love for you to join us. Check us out. Go to Facebook, type in Lady Rising in the search, and tell me you're coming in through the podcast. I would love to be able to guide you and have you join a community of women, of sisters who are all trying to do the same thing. So if I don't see you again, if I don't talk to you, please have a happy holiday and just give yourself a chance and start putting these tools into practice and just start seeing, start enjoying your life again, start playing around with this and just see what happens. Be curious. If you liked this episode and you look forward to future episodes and are really looking for a community to help support you with implementing the tools that we're talking about in this podcast, please consider joining our online sister community called Lady Rising on Facebook, where we focus on that spiritual support and connection, just like in today's episode. I hope you'll join us. Go to Facebook, type in Lady Rising, and tell me you came in through the podcast.